Don't worry, we're going.
Disruptive. This word has often been used to describe the party's behavior in committees and in the House. And looking at these clips, one can see why there is this perception of the party out there. And of course, who can forget this? When the party first arrived in Parliament in 2014 with 25 seats, it seemed as though its strategy was to challenge the decorum of the proceedings and disrupt debates. The phrase parliamentary bounces was first coined in 2014, and these were common scenes. Was this part of the party's plan for radical transformation?
I mean, from 2014 here in Parliament, of course, we were not necessarily disruptive, but we had to change the status quo. Parliament was boring. People were sleeping here, and people were not even interested in watching a parliamentary channel. But today, millions of our people have got interest, takes interest in government. And that's what you need as a political party. Because to be honest with you, this democracy didn't just fall from the sky. People died for this democracy. One man, one vote is what has been negotiated, and this is what has brought us so far. It might not be perfect, but it's a tool for us to have influence on the running of the affairs of this country.
Despite some of the so-called tactics, one of the party's goals was to raise awareness on issues like land redistribution and economic inequality. On the 27th of February 2018, the party tabled a motion in the National Assembly to amend the Constitution.
It wasn't the first time that the EFF tabled that motion. Even prior to 2018, I think 2 attempts were made, and the motion didn't go through. But in 2018, we felt such a relief, and we thought, indeed, finally, victory is coming, when the overwhelming majority of the members of Parliament voted in support of that bill, which saw the country, every corner of society, the length and breadth of our country, being able to have their say on what do they want in terms of the land question.
The EFF describes itself as a radical and militant party calling for the nationalization of mines, banks and other strategic economic sectors. But the party has been able to put its ideological differences with the Democratic Alliance and Freedom Front Plus aside on certain issues, like the Nkandla Ad Hoc Committee, in which it, together with other opposition parties, walked out of that committee in 2014. And more recently, the EFF voted with these parties against the Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's proposed VAT increase. Mautwe reflects on a visit MPs took to Denmark to learn about coalition government.
Of course, we are a young democracy, and in as much as we are young, now we find ourselves having to form a coalition in still a young democracy, which we are still trying to find each other in this democratic project. And then now we have to find again each other in the coalition struggle. So it's going to take a long time. But the message we got from Denmark was that it's a marriage. You have to continue negotiations over and over until you find each other.
But what's next for the EFF's parliamentary caucus?
We will continue tabling private members' bills. You'll remember that we still have the nationalization of the Reserve Bank that is still on the table. It came through, it even went to stakeholder participations. It's now back in the committee. And then we've introduced, as you know, the student debt relief bill, which seeks to scrap the student debt. Our people graduated, and the universities are refusing to release that certificate, purely because they are still owing institutions of higher learning. We also have the insourcing bill, which is still active in Parliament. We've also introduced the free sanitary towels. It's still new in Parliament. We're introducing it, and many other bills that really seek to emancipate our people.
In the 2014 general elections, the EFF won 6.25% of the national vote, garnering 25 seats in the National Assembly. The first 5 years in Parliament must have been impactful for the party because in 2019, its voter share shot up to 10.79% with 44 seats in the National Assembly. However, 2024 saw a bit of a decline as the party now only has 39 seats. But despite the dwindling numbers and having fewer members, the party always knows how to make an entrance. Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.